Our reporter Ati Mtongana is there for us now. I guess, Ati, the first question is this fire under control?
Not yet. In fact, we just moved now from Lion's Head, where we saw huge flames going up the mountain, being fanned by southeasterly winds. And I must say, the wind is quite strong in Cape Town this evening and as well as this afternoon. That fire that started along the Signal Hill area has since spread. I have with me Theo Lane from the city's fire department to unpack this fire for us. Theo, what is the situation right now as we stand?
So the fire spread from the Signal Hill Road, Quarry Hill Road area, and fanned by a very strong southeasterly wind. It has now spread over Signal Hill into the Fresnay area. In the Fresnay area, we have got approximately 15 firefighting vehicles currently, and they are there to mainly protect the properties. A lot of the fire is inaccessible, and being nighttime, we can't use helicopters, which means that ground crews have to go up the hill and try to extinguish what they can before it gets to the properties.
So are you saying there's no threat to property at this stage?
Currently, the residential properties are being protected, and we will request additional resources should the fire come very close to the properties. There's no request for any evacuations as the fire is still high up on the slopes of Signal Hill.
So where exactly did this fire spread from Signal Hill? Where exactly in terms of location? Because like I just said right now, we came from Lion's Head and we saw those huge flames going up the mountain. Where exactly are these pockets of flares in the city?
So what we have is where the fire started in Quarry Hill Road, and the cause of the fire, that is not determined, but there are a lot of people that are living on the mountain that could have possibly started it. But at the moment, we can't say for sure whether it started there, but it was quite a way up on Signal Hill. And then from there, the fire spread up to Signal Hill Road, which we subsequently closed. So traffic services have got the road still closed. And then it went over Signal Hill towards the Fresnay area. The worst of the fire is still high up on the Lion's Head area and spreading towards Camps Bay area. But we have sent additional resources to monitor that section and deal with any parts of the fire that they can actually reach there.
Have there been any reports of injuries, smoke inhalation?
So far, there's been no reports of anybody that has suffered smoke inhalation. As I mentioned, the fire is still quite high up, which means that the wind is blowing most of the smoke out towards the sea. And people are quite safe in their houses. They must make sure they close all windows, all doors, and make sure that if possible they can wet around their property so that any blowing embers, especially with a strong wind, does not set their houses on fire.
And with your firefighters, how many crews have you dispersed? You mentioned that you can't put out aerial support because it's at night. How many firefighters do you have on the ground, and do you have assistance from other municipalities?
So we have approximately 75 firefighters on the scene at the moment. That's with more than 20 firefighting vehicles, and we are being assisted by Table Mountain National Parks, and their crews are also assisting with the areas that are inaccessible to our vehicles. Most of the area that they can get to is 4x4 off-road vehicles, and they have supplied us with a number of those vehicles.
Talking about supplies, are the supplies needed for firefighters at this stage? Are there donations that need to be brought forward for the firefighters? At
the moment, the fire is still in the very first initial stages, so there's no immediate request for any refreshments of any kind. We are supplementing the refreshments from the City of Cape Town side, and should it be required at a later stage, we definitely will mention it.
I know, Theo, that your jurisdiction is here in the city, as we've heard that there are other fires around, the Western Cape and Grabo. Have you had anything there from other areas?
So we have the fire that has been burning for the last 2 days in the Grabo area, but they have not requested any of our assistance there. And we've had, during the course of the day, a number of smaller vegetation fires which were contained quite quickly. Along the West Coast Road, we had an extensive area of vegetation that was early hours of this morning. That one has been contained.
We see some of your firefighters moving out. Thank you so much. Theo Lane from the city's fire department. The fire at this point in Cape Town is not yet contained. Firefighters on the ground trying to put out the blaze that is fanned by the very strong southeasterly wind. Back to you in studio.